We're back on the air. This is Radio Entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and very comfortable all week long. We're at the offices of Gray, Gray & Gray. Sitting with me for this interview is Rich Hershen, one of the partners in the firm. Welcome back, Rich.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to be here.
Our next guest, Mark Silverman of Mark's Moving and Storage. Welcome, Mark.
Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Before we get into some other subjects, which I already know a little bit about, tell us about Mark's Moving and Storage.
Mark's Moving and Storage, I started in 1979 when I was a student at Northeastern University. I needed a few dollars to pay for food, probably for beer, and tuition, of course. And I decided to buy a small van and move students, do some very small moving jobs. At the time, two of the local movers told me that I couldn't do that without a license, that you in fact needed to have a certificate to be a mover in Boston, which I had no idea that anything was required. I thought you could just pick things up and put things down and charge for them.
Nothing's that easy.
Nothing's that easy.
Not in Boston,
So,
especially.
in any case, when somebody tells you you can't do something, that can be the best incentive that someone could possibly give you, and that was a bit of a challenge. So I went and got the certificate, did what I needed to do to be properly licensed and insured in 1979, and have been doing this for the past 36 years. 7 or 8 years ago, we moved from Framingham. We were in a 20,000 square foot warehouse. We had an opportunity to purchase a 90,000 square foot warehouse in Westboro. It was a little larger investment and facility than I needed, but the entrepreneur in me came out and said, do it. So we gave it a shot. Didn't bring on any partners, and we're very happy. I'm very happy that I made that decision.
You're in a really competitive business. What makes you sort of stick out? What's your competitive advantage?
Well, I think although the moving and storage industry per se is a competitive business, a lot of companies, most companies are very interested in volume, volume, volume. They just want to be the biggest mover on earth, which we actually tried doing that once along the way and found out it didn't work out that well. Being a high volume, low profit margin company just wasn't what we were all about in the team that I've put together, because we're much more interested in quality. So we're fine not being the biggest mover on earth, but what we like to be known for and our competitive advantage is that we're a bit of a boutique mover. We do a lot of hand holding. You could say that sometimes we interview our customers as much as they interview us to make sure that there's a good fit, to make sure that we can accomplish all of the goals that they have in mind, to know exactly what their expectations are. So our competitive advantage is that we're a boutique mover. We're looking for the most difficult projects available, and we have some services and some products that others don't have. Specifically, our warehouse building in Westboro, Mass. allows us to load shipments, actually drive our trucks right into the building, hold the shipments on the truck for a night or a week or whatever length of time people need us to do that for, and then drive the truck out of the building and redeliver it. So that eliminates a second, the need to unload and reload. Their things are only handled once, which ultimately results in fewer damages. We have the same management. The vice president of my company has been with me since day one. We share the same goal, which is 100% customer satisfaction, and nothing less will do. We want our customers not only to be satisfied, but as I recently learned in college, that customers must really love you. If you want your brand to be strong, just having them happy isn't enough. You have to go the extra mile. They have to, in fact, really love you if you want them to become salespeople for you out there.
Do you do any types of specialty moves as well? I know that's becoming a new category as well.
Well, the type of specialty moves, many movers they fall into different areas of work that they have opportunities to pursue, and one of the areas that we've been heavily pursuing for the past maybe decade is fire and flood restoration work. So not only do we do moving and storage, but we have a division, we call it content rescue, where if someone has had a fire or flood, we'll go into their home, we'll remove the salvageable items, we'll bring them to our warehouse not only for safekeeping, but if they require any type of restoration, we will perform that restoration or have that restoration performed for them. So someone may have a fire, and of their entire home, there are only 15 or 20 items that are salvageable. Those 15 or 20 items then become very meaningful to them because it's all they had left that the fire didn't destroy, and we will not only hold those items, but we have the mechanism to make those items look almost new.
Now, Rich tells me you started a nonprofit as well. You know, being an entrepreneur wasn't enough for you, you had to do something else.
Well, I thought it would be nice to have an organization that if you didn't make any money, you could be proud of it, rather than feeling like you were a failure if you didn't have a profit. But the real reason is that over the years we find there are a lot of customers that have furniture that's in very good condition, furniture, household effects, and they would often ask us to simply throw these items away, or they would ask if we knew of anyone that would want to buy them, or they didn't know what to do with it. So they would have nice furniture, and they had a problem. What do we do with this? So years ago, we used to take it to the dump, and we used to participate in making that landfill full. And then what we found was that there are organizations such as the United Way of Tri-County, there are homeless shelters, there are shelters for women in transition that could use a lot of these items. So what we decided we would do is we would do our very best to make sure that if there was an item that was in decent condition, that it ended up in the hands of someone in need rather than at the transfer station, the landfill. So we collect these items in bulk. We collect trailer loads, literally, of furniture, household effects, and then we deliver them to the organizations that item by item will then distribute them to the end user. And some of these organizations actually charge an overhead fee to the recipient of the goods. And the goal of our foundation that has recently been formed is that that end user won't have to pay anything, that it will truly be not a gift, well in fact it will be a gift, but it will be a no-charge acquisition for them.